If you are an artist, let alone a speculative evolution artist like many viewers of this channel, summer months and hot weather and humidity in general can present real challenges to your psychology and your well-being when you're feeling productive. This is really unfortunate because summer months, especially during college years, are a treasure trove of free time, and you got all this free time but no energy and too much heat, and that kind of hinders your artistic process. Welcome to the CM Kosemen podcast on how to stay productive during the hot and humid summer months. But yes, everybody, I am recording this in the 20th of June 2024 in Istanbul, Turkey, and goddamn, it has been abnormally hot this year, and just last day it was really hot. I couldn't sleep properly, and I am recording this on a sleep-deprived mind, so any contribution from your end to me, be it through patreon.com, buy me a coffee, or as a merch store purchase would be really welcome. You'd be buying Daddy Kosemen a lemonade during the hot summer months, or maybe an ice cream lolly. But all the jokes aside, even $1 a month really makes a difference. I will keep repeating this on every podcast and every short video like this. Please contribute. Not only do I get something out of it, my livelihood, but also you get access to a wealth of artworks, fantastic creature depictions, and other content that nobody else gets to see. So it's a win-win kind of situation. And now back to how to stay productive during the hot summer months. Now, for me, this is inevitably going to be entangled with memories of hot summer vacations, where I actually first developed my skills as an artist. So picture this. This is in the mid to late 1990s, fossil times for many of you, before the universe began. But that's when I was a kid and a teenager, and being somewhat lucky, we could afford to go on summer holidays to the Mediterranean part of Turkey, and that's where my formative art appreciation and my formative art skills developed. Back in those days, I guess I was luckier because we had no internet, no smartphones. Well, we did have the internet, but it was in a big boxy computer back home, and no freaking way you were gonna carry that around with you. So the summers were like a completely offline time where I could concentrate on art purely. And unfortunately, I discovered quickly that it was not easy to draw stuff when the weather exceeded 30 degrees Celsius. That's like high 90 degrees for American listeners. And it was humid as fuck, really. It was very humid. You couldn't think straight, let alone put a pencil to the paper. But still, in these holidays, I kind of learned how to grind it, and because you really didn't have anything else to do, You could either swim in the sea, go to the swimming pool, hang around under the trees or read a book, or just, take pencil to the paper and draw creatures. And I discovered within myself that despite the heat and the horrible humidity, I could work out some sort of schedule or a self-drive to keep productive. Now, this is more of a memory than a recommendation, but picture this. I could split my day into bits, so when it was really hot, I would just enjoy the sea or the swimming pool. Then I would come out, my brain would be cooled, I would be feeling spry and hale, and maybe I would treat myself to an ice cream lolly. Remember, I'm like 12, 13, 14 when this is taking place. And my favorite snack would be the Panda Traffic. It was a weird kind of ice cream. It came in layers. It was like a traffic light, so that's why they called it traffic. The top layer was red, the middle layer was yellow, and the bottom layer was green. And in that day and age, it was very rare to have a green ice cream. It was mint flavored. The red and yellow bits were just generic fruit slop, but the bottom part was really minty and green, and it really kind of like boom, gave my brain a hit. Now I'm kind of getting lost in my childhood memories now, but by treating myself to that snack and that swim, I could condition myself that I kind of earned it now and I had to do some drawing to make up for it. And I would sit down in the 30, 40 degree heat and just draw creatures. I remember I had a technique back in that day. You can see some of those images in the video image actually. So all the pictures in the background that you see, I made in the suffocating heat, just forcing myself and conditioning myself through these gifts of snacks or swims or other experiences and just grinding it. So that's one way you could do. I'm just telling this as a bittersweet childhood memory now, but in the heat, you could perhaps condition yourself through little gifts. I don't know. If you're lucky enough to enjoy a seaside vacation, maybe take a dip, then tell yourself that you will spend the rest of that day drawing. For me, it also helped to draw in semi-social settings. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy people looking at my work and commenting positively on it. It's perhaps the reason I still have this channel going, because I'm somewhat of an exhibitionist. I am an eccentric and an exhibitionist, and there are no two ways around that. Another thing you could do is just let go. If the day is too hot, just let go of the day. Don't force yourself, but maybe spend that time, if you're especially in the city and not in a holiday setting, spend that time just reading or relaxing or just enjoying the day to the best of your ability. And then after 5 p.m. is when the magic starts to happen. Just be easy on yourself. You know, it's very normal for the human brain not to function before 5 p.m., 6 p.m. in these hot, sultry summer days. Now, another tip I can give you is to avoid, if you're going on a holiday, maybe do yourself a challenge and don't bring your smartphone or your computer or your iPad. Just go along with paper, pencils, and pens. And that's how most of my summers were spent. Actually, well before my mid-30s, I still don't use a smartphone. So well before my mid-30s, I would not have any electronics on summer vacations. Now, inevitably, I take my computer along. And although it gives me some flexibility, I also think it takes some things away. So another tip there. By the way, let us recap the summer tips. 1, if it's too hot and if you're lucky to be in a holiday, reward yourself with experiences or snacks and then get to work. 2, if it's too hot, don't force it. Go to work just when the sun is starting to go down. 3, be an exhibitionist and try drawing or painting in semi-public settings, maybe a cafe or seaside cafe. There's nothing like it. Get a nice tall glass of beer, cold glass of beer, enjoy the seaside and just draw. And now here's another tip to join the ranks of those which I have just described. The summers are, your brain doesn't work well. You're just stupid. You're just dumb. You're just a dumb, brainless hamster. Just accept it. But here's a way you can sequester your work. Imagine you're going to have like a 1-week summer holiday in 2 weeks, okay? And when you're in the city, you got air conditioning and shit, so you're good to draw. But when you're in the holiday, you will want to draw, but your brain won't work because you're a silly little hemp girl. What are you gonna do? Well, here's a suggestion. If you're drawing on real media like Daddy Kosemen is, try to get the pencils done before you go on the holiday. So one of my techniques involves doing a pencil study on a sheet and then going over that with pens and erasing them later on to get a crisp, smooth, unbroken outline, and it works really, really well. And I discovered in my time that I know I'm a dumb baby, I'm a dumb Bambi during the summer heat, but before going I could accumulate a lot of pencil outlines and take them along with me with just the pens and then go to work in the heat that way. That's like proper tropical warfare. Your brain isn't working at 100% capacity, but it handles repetitive or pre-arranged tasks really well in the heat. So I would make a lot of outlines for SNIAD, my upcoming world design project, or other things, and I would take them to summer break and then just draw them in the heat. And that sort of compartmentalization really works well because it's just like painting by numbers. You're drawing a line you already worked out, so it's really easy on the mind that way. Remember, summer art, let's make it sound a bit cooler. Tropical art warfare is brain management at the end of it. The heat is just an artifact, and you're just basically making arrangements to condition your brain to concentrate in the heat, which is stifling and, which really, really forces you. And that's okay. You can also, if you're used to doing more rigorous kind of art, you can also use the summer as an excuse to do sloppy sketches or maybe things you wouldn't normally do. I don't know. I mean, pick a material you never tried with it and allow yourself to get silly with it, allow yourself to make mistakes. I know from experience that a lot of mistakes I made during these summer excursions. Then in the autumn and in the winter, I discovered that many tricks of the trade there. So there's another trick. So that's all, everybody. My summer memories and my summer tips to be a productive artist during the sweltering months. If you're lucky enough to afford a vacation, appreciate it, savor it. If you're trapped in the city, condition, maybe make a challenge out of it. Seek air-conditioned places. Another tip, by the way, if you go to these chain coffee shops, and they're all over the world these days. I'm thinking about Gloria Jeans, Cafe Nero, Starbucks. These places you can sit in the cold and you don't have to make a purchase. They actually appreciate people coming over and doing nothing because they want you to get used to it, and that's in the company policy of these places. So that's another tip. If you're trapped in the hot city, maybe hit those chain cafes and don't spend anything. Just sit in the cold weather, cold air-conditioned climate and draw. And then let's go over some of the other tips. Condition your mind with tips, with gifts. Condition your mind with gifts. As you can see, it's very hot today and the heat is having its way with my mind too. So condition yourself with gifts. Try to be active after sundown. Make a social spectacle out of it. Obviously, don't take anything digital with you. I mean, look, digital stuff just messes with your head, okay? Socially, you want to draw, in 2 minutes you're doom scrolling on Instagram again. I know you're doing it, so cut the problem at its source. Don't take a device with you. You won't die. Believe me, you'll even enjoy it. And then other tips would be, if you're in the city, try to turn your artwork into a low brain power process. Maybe work over outlines you've drawn before. And if it's really, really hot, go to one of these chain cafes. Here are my tips. I'm sure there are more tips for productivity in the hot months. And if you got them, please share them with us. Once again, thanks for listening. I hope you stay cold and stay safe. And I hate this term. I don't want to use the term productivity in conjunction with art, because productivity is an industrial word. It's used to measure outputs of factories, and you're a human being, and especially when it's art you're talking about, you're doing something from your heart. You're striving to create something original and something that truly belongs to you. So take it easy. And to repeat my point, if you have your own tips and tricks for staying, I hate the word productive, during the summer months, please share it with us in the comments. Comments really help me in the algorithm, and in turn it helps everyone. And stay cold, stay safe, and I love you all. Goodbye for now.